Previously on the Theme Park Evaluator. Damn. Hi there, folks. I'm Joseph Gregory Pagac, the Theme Park Evaluator, and as you can see, on June the 7th of 2012, my brother Phil and I went to Timber Falls Adventure Park. Now, I say Adventure Park because that is precisely what it is. It is not a theme park. It has theming elements, but it is not like a theme park in the sense that a theme park has a theme throughout the whole of the park. There's one general standard theme for a theme park. Whereas, as I just mentioned now, with Timber Falls, it is an adventure park. Now, Timber Falls, it does have some pretty good theming. The main theme is going to be that of a volcano that is sprung up in a wooded area. Not the best of concepts, but it's fun. And one of the most exciting portions of that, as I had mentioned before, is the actual volcano that had erupted in the actual area. And that's what is all about with Montezuma's Revenge, the miniature golf course that they have on premises. Here, take a look at just some more of what that looks like.
There we are.
That's right. I can't believe I'm still recording. Cleanliness. Now, Timber Falls, it does have a little bit of trash here and there. Or at least I saw a couple pieces at the Timberwolf log flume. I saw a couple pieces at the Hellcat coaster. But ultimately, I did not see any while I was on any of the miniature golf courses. Now, what I mean by that is, these courses, sure, they look a little bit outdated. Not because the actual theming is bad, but because the greens themselves, they probably just need to be taken out and replaced a little bit. Just because the artificial grass is starting to look a little bit mangy. The greens still look nice, if a little bit scraggly at points. There are no holes inside of the greens. There are no really bad dirt patches just lying all over the place, like I have seen on some miniature golf courses. I love miniature golf. It's fun. And that is part of the reason why my brother and I went to Timber Falls in the first place, is for the miniature golf. We also love the Timber Falls log flume and Hellcat coaster. But here's the thing. The cleanliness helps us come back. Because, sure, we might spot a piece of trash over on the Hellcat coaster. We might spot a piece of trash at the Timberwolf log flume. But, ultimately, it's the greens on the golf courses themselves. It is the courses, the grounds that we look at the most. We look at whether or not there's trash on those, and there isn't. It is a very clean miniature golf course, and that is what you come to expect from a miniature golf course. You don't want to have foreign objects, blocking the path that you are trying to shoot or putt, which is what you want. You don't want to see the trash. So, that is very good cleanliness for what is ultimately an adventure park. Guest relations. Ladies and gentlemen, I've gone to probably about 40, 50 different theme parks. And ultimately, these theme parks, not all of them are very good when it comes to guest relations. Guest relations to me, is not just about whether or not the 4 or 5 people that generally are behind a counter in a room that actually says guest services or guest relations. To me, it's not about them knowing about whether or not something is happening in the park or just their general knowledge of the park. To me, it's about every single employee, every single host, cast member, whatever we want to call them. Ultimately, to me, it is about every single person working in unison to make it so that the theme park runs smoothly. And ultimately, Timber Falls, it runs phenomenally. And what I mean is, my brother Phil and I, we literally were waiting for about 10 minutes at one point in time, and I think that you actually heard the gentleman that was attending the ride operator for the Hellcat coaster, call on his walkie-talkie to see if we could actually get the ride working for us, get the ride up and running. Because according to what they are supposed to do at Timber Falls, they're supposed to wait for about half of that coaster to be filled before they can send the coaster. And I was actually very appreciative of him getting on that walkie-talkie and saying, hey, guess what? These guys, they've been waiting here for about 10 minutes. Can I just send the thing? And having their supervisor say, yeah, that's fine. You know, it's 10 minutes. It's not going to be too much wear and tear on the coaster. Whereas, in past years, about 3 or 4 years actually ago, they used to just allow you to ride as many times as you want. And my brother and I went out 105 times in a row. It was not very pleasant, actually, after about 10 times, but we wanted to go for the record. Sadly, we were still, 129 was the actual record for the ride, times in a row, and if we had just stayed on another hour, we would have definitely beaten that by probably about 10. Sadly, we did not. And we are kind of kicking ourselves now because we could have done it at that time, and we just didn't have the balls to work our way through the broken ribs and knees and every other type of bone that you could probably think of. It's not the smoothest of coasters, let's put it that way. But ultimately, for guest relations, I was very appreciative that these employees were willing to do whatever it took to make sure that the guests were happy. Sorry about that, tangent that I just went on. But ultimately, that tangent should really fall in entertainment. That's right, entertainment for Timber Falls is way up in the sky. Mainly because it's a semi-busy place, but it's not so busy where you get hampered by people pushing you out of the way, by you having to ultimately force yourself to try to have a good time. You don't have to wait for usually more than 15 minutes for any single attraction, any golf course. You just go there, you have fun. And that's ultimately what a theme park is about, having fun. And to me, Timber Falls is, at least for the Wisconsin Dells, one of the highlights. Entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, this theme park is a place that you can have a really great time. My brother and I, we've gone there now 5 years in a row, and we have had nothing but good times every single time that we've been there. The Hellcat coaster, it is very fun, if not more along the lines of, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm going to die on this coaster. It is very rickety. It is something that could actually potentially hurt you if you go on it way too many times, like my brother and I did in 2007. We really should have gone more, because we really did want to get that record. We wanted to beat it, but we didn't. Sad. Sad, sad day for us. But ultimately, with 5 rides on the Hellcat coaster, with unlimited rides on the Timber Wolf log flume, with unlimited times through all 4 miniature golf courses, Montezuma's Revenge, Timber Falls, black, red, and blue. It is a fun place, and it's nothing where it's about thrills. It's all about sheer enjoyment. It's all about pleasure. It is nothing to do with thrills, as I just mentioned. It has nothing to do with ultimately feeling as though if you didn't go on the rides that you had missed out. It is a place where you can go just to talk and enjoy your company with the people that you've gone with. And ultimately, that is the best part of Timber Falls. That it is a place where it's pretty much just about relaxing. It is not about working yourself up. It is not about psyching oneself up to get on the biggest, baddest roller coaster. It is ultimately just a place for people to hang out. And it's an incredible experience if you've never been there. And I ultimately suggest that you do. So, ladies and gentlemen, in summary, I'm going to have to say, for the theming for Timber Falls, as I mentioned before, it is not the greatest of themes. It is an adventure park, which means that there is one major theme, and then there is mainly no theme for the rest of the place. For one side of the park, you have three miniature golf courses, and it is pretty much just the theme is going to be just kind of a lumber mill that's off in the distance. It is a nice area. It looks pretty, but it doesn't have the greatest of theming. You have, on the other side of the street, you have the Montezuma's Revenge, the huge volcano that is sprung up in the middle of this wooded area, ultimately creating a vast theming, I guess you could kind of say, cornucopia. I love it. It's brilliant, that volcano that is risen out of the ground in the middle of the forest. It's awesome. So, ultimately for theming, I'd have to give it 2 stars. Again, it's not the greatest of theming. For cleanliness, I did see a couple pieces of trash here and there. I saw a wrapper at the Hellcat coaster, and I also saw what looked like to be a napkin over by the Timberwolf log flume. So ultimately, I'm going to have to say, and I didn't see any trash on any of the golf courses. So ultimately, I'm going to have to say 3 stars for the cleanliness. Phenomenal, actually, for a theme park. I mean, I don't think that any theme park could really be perfect, but there are some that are very, very, very close to perfect. Guest relations. Now, you can't get much better guest relations than you have at Timber Falls. And as I had mentioned before, it is about keeping the customer happy. It is about keeping your guests happy. And ultimately, they kept my brother and I very happy. So I'm going to have to say 4-star guest relations, because that is phenomenal. And lastly, the entertainment. The entertainment is not your standard form of entertainment when it comes to a theme park. As I had said, most theme parks nowadays are going to be mostly about thrills. It's going to be mostly about trying to scare the living daylights out of you. Whereas this place, it's all about camaraderie. So I'd have to say, while it is not a standard form of entertainment, it is a brilliant form that you don't get at most theme parks. So I have to say 4 stars for entertainment also. So ladies and gentlemen, that is ultimately 2.5 stars for Timber Falls. I thank you for watching, and I hope that you do well with all of your endeavors, everybody out there. And again, I hope that you enjoyed the show.